You know when you meet people who just don't want to hear advice because I've already got it all figured out? If that's your attitude, I want nothing to do with you. First and foremost, I invest in the people, not the ideas. I have seen so many brilliant ideas. The kind of ideas you hear and you're like, what? That is genius. But with the wrong founder, with the wrong person behind it, I know it's going to likely go to zero.
Hello, and welcome to the Liberty Spenders podcast. We are Kurt and Kristen Ludhart, your hosts and co-founders of the Prosper Group, an agency that's helped raise over $500 million and help elect over 100 members of Congress, 15 governors, 15 U.S. senators, and 1 president. So business owners, what if you could exponentially grow your business by tapping into a lucrative and engaged audience of 76.5 million people that we call Liberty Spenders? These Americans spend $5 trillion a year, and they're motivated to buy from businesses and brands that share their values. If you want to learn more about that, you can get access to our new best-selling book at libertyspenders.com/free.
And today, and I've pronounced this name a bunch of times, I'm going to get it right. Today, we're excited to welcome Markus Kaulius. Did I get it right, Markus?
Your hesitation is where you went wrong. You just had to go for it, brother.
We're excited to welcome Markus.
Having a Lithuanian last name, I accept whatever I'm given.
It's like Ludhart. We get it. We get it all. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're pumped to have him on our podcast. Markus is a serial entrepreneur who built a $170 million business from scratch, impacting over 10 million lives. His book, Play a Bigger Game, became a USA bestseller in just 3 weeks. He's been featured on Forbes, CNN, Fox News, and on the Liberty Business Alliance Masterclass.
I know. That's clearly the highlight. Clearly.
That's the biggest one.
He now owns stakes in over 40 companies, mentors top entrepreneurs, and lives a life rooted in faith and purpose. Markus, we're so pumped to have you on.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you, too. I'm psyched to be here. I love spending time with you, too, and your community. Your community is incredible. And I think so highly of the two of you as the leaders of that community. You've created something absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you so much, Markus. We, for those of you who weren't able to experience it, we had Markus speak to our community, and it was such a great experience for everyone. And maybe that gives us a chance to reorder our interview here. But you talked about some important stuff about mindset and how to get that right in business. And I'll tell you, I did 3 years of going to Tony Robbins events regularly. And and he emphasizes this. And I thought that was a big insight for me. And it was amazing how quickly I can get lost in the mechanics and the how and the ups and downs, and then forget the importance of getting my mind right every day. And you dove into that. And I know that's a lot of what you coach people on. So I want to start with that before we get into $170 million business and how that happened. Let's talk about mindset. Why is that such a big game changer?
Oh, I love this start to this conversation. The biggest question here is, why should I focus on mindset? Because I think there's so many people listening right now that are like, oh, I've heard of these mindset gurus and stuff. It feels all fluffy. Let's just talk about a couple things real quick. And has anybody ever met somebody who's had a ton of financial success, but seems super unhappy, like way unhappier than the average person?
I have.
maybe we've met lots of people that way. Maybe often when we meet someone with big financial success, you're like, why isn't this person happier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's something huge to unpack right there. You could have all the financial success in the world. You could have a fantastic marriage, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're going to miss it. In fact, we live in a society now where the social media, everything around us is pushing us towards, oh, you should be unhappy with your life. Because, by the way, we have something for that. I can sell you something to help you. I can sell you pills. I can sell you this. I can sell you that. So if we focus first on our mindset, one of the greatest benefits you will ever find is that you're going to find contentment and fulfillment no matter where you are. I don't have money, I'm content. I have lots of money, I'm content, I'm fulfilled. That is a beautiful place to be. And it also helps us to create a fully balanced fulfillment life. It involves health. It involves relationships. It helps you to not focus on just one thing and say, well, if I'm super successful financially, then I'm going to be so happy, which, by the way, is a false equation. And never once in the history of man has that been the correct equation.
Yeah.
It's so true. And how many of us fall into that trap? We're just tempted, like this shiny thing or this achievement. And, we were just speaking with a woman entrepreneur who's just launched a fashion brand. And she talked about going through an identity crisis. And I just thought, oh, there's that keyword right there, which I know you are such an expert in helping people realize is identity.
Yes.
Because I know, having spoken to you and understanding how you see the world, that we know those two things are linked. Mindset and how we see our identity and what is our identity in. And so for our listeners, why don't you help extrapolate on that? Because we all know those things are linked.
I love that. And yes, I love talking about identity, by the way. Do you mind if I have a quick tangent just before I jump into this?
Oh, we love tangents.
Okay, wonderful. Here's why I'm going to do this tangent so early on. Often when I get in on stage or I'm on a podcast, people see me in the fancy suit. They've heard my fancy resume. This guy has money. This guy's done this and that. Well, I can't even relate to him. And he can't relate to me. He doesn't know what I'm going through. So his stuff might work once you're a super millionaire, but not for guys like me. So I want to tell everybody listening where I started. And I was the complete opposite of who you see today. The first 15 years of my life were such garbage. I was so unhappy. I had absolutely no confidence, no self-worth. I got bullied constantly from people outside and people inside my world, my family. There was no love in my family. When the divorce happened when I was 7, my dad was gone. My mom had to go back to school full-time, work full-time. So I didn't have much relationship time with my mom either. Man, that doesn't make for anything great. Plus, here I am, 6'4.5", 120 pounds. I know, ladies, it's exciting. Just for people who don't quite get how crazy that is, you see me today, I'm not exactly a heavy guy, minus 100 pounds from this. 100 pounds. Wow. So yeah, I wasn't the most confident guy. And I was on a terrible path. I had the worst mindset. When you talk about my identity, I believed everything that was said about me. And I was the kind of guy who would say, oh, I don't have good luck. Oh, things don't work out for me. I'm going to tell you all right now, when you say those words, you make them true.
Yes.
The stuff that you believe about yourself, your core beliefs are what make up your identity, and you will always be right. And so I knew at a very young age, I was very blessed that at 15 years old, I hit my rock bottom. This is the greatest moment maybe of my whole life. And I really felt God talk to me and said to me, you can make the decision right now to continue to be the person that everyone else has made you out to be, or you can make a decision and become the person I've always wanted you to be. And I know it's who you want to be too, Markus. And I knew it. I felt it with every cell in my body. And I'm hoping somebody listening right now has perked up just a touch, and you do not have to wait for God's voice. You can make that same decision today. If you feel like you've always been put into this box that you don't belong in, you know it feels wrong, you know there's a bigger, better life for you, make the decision today and keep listening. We're going to go over the exact things I did to fully 180 my life. And now I get to be this guy who enjoys his life so much. And the things I get to do, my schedule every day is something I absolutely love. I surround myself by people I love being around. I'm obsessed with my wife of 21 years. I have a spectacular relationship with my 2 teenage daughters. This is a sensational life, and it is truly available for anybody. I want to be so clear. There is nothing I believe that makes me this unique unicorn that, hey, these blessings aren't for you guys. So let's just talk about how awesome I am for an hour and good luck to the rest of you. The opposite is true. There's nothing unicorn about me. I've just made some great choices and changed my identity over time. And this is the life you get to live. So that is the invitation for you all today.
If you're listening to this show, it's probably because you understand something most people don't. Marketing to Liberty Spenders isn't just about ads or tactics, it's about trust. And in the real world, trust moves through relationships. And that's why private introductions and deal flow are such a core part of what we do.
So FastPass is a private introduction and deal flow network for Christian and conservative leaders who already have influence and want to scale fast. It's not open networking, it's intentional introductions between people who already share alignment. We've seen one client land a $25,000 opportunity from a single introduction. Another told us that FastPass has become his largest source of referrals, not because of volume, but because of fit. And yet another closed her equity round at a key moment just due to the right introduction.
When you book a one-to-one consult with us, we're not handing you a list or making big promises. Instead, we're having a real conversation about what you're building, who you want to meet, and whether FastPass makes sense for this season for you. So no pressure, no hustle, and no awkward pitch from us.
Yeah. If you're ready to grow through relationships instead of forcing everything on your own, head to libertyspenders.com/FastPass and book a one-to-one consult with us.
In worst case, you leave with clarity. Best case, the right introductions change the trajectory of what you're building.
Okay, back to the episode. So I love that tangent, Marcus, and I'm so glad you thought to insert that there because we can take for granted because we know more of your story, and we definitely want to make sure people hear that and have that perspective so they can understand where you're coming from and why you have this amazing perspective that you do. So
thank you.
Let's dive back in. So it's so powerful for anybody listening. Maybe it wasn't their weight, right, or their stature, but we all had something, right, that maybe stole our joy or allowed us to kind of build a talk track about ourselves that didn't serve us, that didn't allow us to have the confidence, that didn't allow us to be everything that God created us to be. And so this is why I just love the perspective that you have on mindset and how that ties into identity. So I want to bring that back because, as we all know, and you hinted at it, what you say about yourself and believe about yourself, it just becomes true in how you live and show up. And so it matters very much what we define as our identity. So what would you tell people about that? Because you have an interesting way of talking about this.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm gonna answer that by giving some actionable tips for people. If you're interested, if you're listening to this and going, I'm ready to change my identity, or at the very least, I'm open to it, Marcus. So I'm going to start with this. And by the way, this is from my mentor, Tony, who has mentored me for over 30 years now. To live a better life, you need to start asking better questions. And so let me explain that. Our brains are very much like AI. So I know everybody's talking about AI. Everybody's starting to learn how to play with AI. AI is going to answer questions that you direct it to answer. So if I give AI a negative answer, as in if I give my brain or AI a negative question, it's going to frame it in a negative response. Here's an example. AI, how's the world going to end? Mm-hmm. You see how negative that is? Do you see how there's no way it can be like, don't worry, it'll never end. Right. No? And so again, let's bring it back to personal. I would ask myself, why am I such a loser? Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Your brain goes, okay, I got a whole bunch of answers for you. You're a loser because nobody likes you. You're bullied. Look at your body. You have no confidence. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So what if I started to frame questions that don't lead to where I know it's going to be garbage, but why am I going to succeed? What's going to make me a successful person? There are answers there too. Now, for those people who had low confidence, as low as mine, and you're going, I don't know if there's any answer to that. There are. Well, you know what? I'm a pretty good person. I take good care of myself. I read every day. I do this, I do this, I do this. And all of a sudden you build a case. Why? Because you asked your brain for the positive reasons and you're building a case. It's like standing in front of a judge and you go, why am I such a loser? Here's all the evidence. So how does that serve you? And if you've been doing that for many years, like I had, and like most people do, you keep building this terrible case against yourself. Has it served you? Is it getting you the results you want in life? If it is, then no need to change. But if you believe that there's possibly more for your life, you could be playing a bigger game, then try asking just better questions. Frame it in the positive. Why am I going to succeed? And then take it another step further. So this is a great question I ask myself all the time. Why am I going to be successful? Well, I take really good care of my health and my mind. I take great care of my relationships. I listen to podcasts every single day. I read books every single day. I spend time in the right circles with great people who challenge me. That's pretty great evidence. Could I be doing more? Yeah. What else could I be doing? And if I liked those answers, could I be doing more in those things? You know what? I could actually spend more time in groups. I could join another mastermind. I could keep pushing myself in that way. Do you see how the good question leads to some extra beautiful things? Mm-hmm. Whereas again, where does the negative lead us? You got your answer. Oh, you're a loser for all these reasons. Good luck today.
And here's another one that I know you'll just like hit right out of the park. Is so let's say we've got, business owner listening, right? Maybe this person is just started, or, maybe they've been in business a long time and they've hit a plateau and they feel stuck. They're not sure what's going. And maybe they're noticing, right? Their energy's dropping, confidence is dropping. They're starting to feel like nothing's going to work. What would you say about that? What would you say about the risks in having your identity tied up in how well your business does or your career does? Because I'm sure nobody listening has ever done that or noticed that success in work or career or business is completely affecting how you feel about yourself, how you're acting at home, how you're showing up for your family, even though that's over here.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody about having their identity tied to that?
Oh, Kristen, beautiful question. And you're so spot on with this. You will only rise to the level of success that your identity will allow. Just think about that, everybody. If you see yourself as a mildly successful person, like, I don't think I deserve much more than that. And by the way, I did that for decades. I knew I was supposed to be a successful person. But when I started tasting a bit of success, here's one thing I've learned that is so definitive. We have a number in our head. And so I'm just going to talk about finances for a second. You have a number in your head that is like, I can't even believe I'm making this money. And for a lot of people, it is such a small number. And I don't mean any offense by that, people. I had a number in my head. And if I remember it right, it was like $120,000 a year. And what happens is that was where my thermometer was set. And just like the thermometer in your house, if it's set at 120, you get to 120 and you go a little bit over, you will find ways to mess it up so that you drop back down. Oh, and now I'm down at 100. Then I heat it back up and it gets to 120 again. This is a fact about your identity. You will only be able to be as successful as you know in your identity you can be. So if you want more, you have to improve your identity. And that is something I've worked on for years. And I love working on this. I love the journey of this. And there is no number for me anymore. I'm going to be careful what I say there. I bet there still is. And I'm going to have to figure that out when I get to that number. But now I believe it's a really big number that I believe I can surpass, especially if God chooses to put that kind of money in my hands. But I'm nowhere near what that limit is right now. And what happens if you continue to upgrade your identity? No, I'm someone who you know what? Allow me to give one quick example. Someone asked me why I am so confident. They had seen me in enough rooms. They're like, Markus, you show up in any room ridiculously confident. How does that work? Any room that I walk into, I know with 100% certainty I belong in. Mm-hmm. Do you know how cool and how much confidence comes from that? Mm-hmm. And think about what I'm saying. I could be in a room with people who are way smarter than me. I often am. People who have done way bigger things in business. I often am. If I'm in that room, I'm supposed to be in that room. Not because I'm going to try and compete, because I'll lose. And again, this goes back to, I'm not that special. But if I'm in that room, God has called me to be in that room. Mm-hmm. And I've been in situations where I'm talking to somebody who has done way bigger things in business. And my brain is like, are we going to talk about business? Because I'm about to lose this. And all of a sudden that person goes, hey, I notice you have a lot of faith. Hey, like, why do you have so much trust in God? And I'm like, there's the reason I'm here. Mm-hmm. It had nothing to do with money. It had everything to do with who God has made me to be. And now we have that conversation. So instead of walking into any given room and assuming you don't belong in that room, like, they're going to talk about money and I'm not good at money. How about just accept where you are with money and go, I'm in this room for a reason. It might take 5 to 10 conversations before I figure out why. But that's okay, because I'm going to enjoy that journey.
Well, and now we know, right? You've got a mindset that you belong in any room, which is, it's got to help you when you're trying to help clients and other business owners and entrepreneurs who you meet. So now if I switch gears and we think about, all right, maybe we can give some tactical advice or give some food for thought for people. We've talked about you've got stakes in over 40 companies. How do you go about thinking about the winners and the losers when you're evaluating these people? How do you judge and decide where you want to put your time and energy and resources?
Oh, great question. I love talking about this, by the way. So I hope people listening are going to see both sides of this, which is one, who do I need to be if I want someone to invest in me? Mm-hmm. And two, how do I talk to investors to make sure that they see that? And three, actually, if I'm going to invest in people one day, what should I be looking for? Mm-hmm. And so first and foremost, I invest in people. That's the most important thing people need to know. I invest in the people, not the ideas. I have seen so many brilliant ideas, the kind of ideas you hear and you're like, what? That is genius. But with the wrong founder, with the wrong person behind it, I know it's going to likely go to zero. And then I've seen amazing founders with pretty crappy ideas pivot and pivot and pivot again and do insanely amazing things. And so what I'm looking for in that founder, there's a few key things. One, coachability. Coachability it's my number one by far. And why I'm looking for coachability, it's not because, hey, I'm going to do it better than you, so you better learn from me. No. But you know when you meet people who just don't want to hear advice because I've already got it all figured out? If that's your attitude, I want nothing to do with you. You've limited your growth so bad if you already know it all. If you already know it all, man, you must have billions and billions. You don't need my money to invest in you. And then you've got people who are like, I'll learn from anybody and everybody, even if it means I'm going to learn to do the opposite of what that person does. I always talk about Michael Scott. Like I raised my kids on Michael Scott in The Office, not because he does anything right, but because, okay, how would you handle that one, girls? It's awesome, right? So you can learn from everybody and anybody. And so coachability is huge. The other reason I'm looking for coachability, and I'll talk about a couple other characteristics, but I want to know if I'm in proper alignment with this person. And if they're coachable and they are well aligned with me, meaning they're really listening to me, like, oh my goodness, Markus. And then what if I do that? Oh my goodness, let me take that down. And then I ask them, like, what did you get out of that? And okay, here's what I'm going to do. And here's what I got out of that. And well, see, now I'm extra valuable to that founder and that company. And of course, I've had tons of conversations where I walked into the conversation excited to have the conversation, excited about the business that I heard this person's doing. But I was like, I can't invest in this. I can't invest in this because I know my value is not going to show up here. You don't value me. I am not the right partner for everybody. And that's totally okay. I've really accept the fact that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And by the way, everybody listening, when you can learn that, you are going to be so empowered with who you actually are. Because I show up as myself. I know right now people are listening going, what's with this guy's energy? It's too high. This guy's too loud. This guy's too this, too that.
It's the Canadian accent, Markus.
But the people who get me, who lean in, who are like, oh, this guy's speaking my language. Great. Those are the people that I've been sent here to help.
Well, as an aside, I do think he just gave up the title of his next book, which is the Michael Scott Method for Parenting, which I think I'd read that book. Kurt's we're big off. But we're still preteen, so I have time to learn the right way.
Preteen, we're basically still in preschool.
Yes,
we've got a long way to go.
Yes,
yeah.
You mentor a ton of these entrepreneurs and CEOs, and maybe you kind of answered this a little bit when you talked about the kind of people you like to work with. But what's the biggest slip up you see newbies making, or maybe they've got a little something going, they're growing a business, and then what's the most common thing that knocks them off track?
Wow. Man, you guys are really good at this, by the way. I love this question too. The biggest pitfall that I see younger entrepreneurs, I shouldn't say younger, the next generation of entrepreneurs hit is not working on their personal growth. The mindset has, of course, a ton to do with that, but personal growth. And what that means is many people are well equipped and very capable of starting the business. And that's taking it from level 0 to level 1. But what about level 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 5 to 8? Any of these jumps, very few of us, maybe none, other than maybe Elon Musk, was just born to be this incredible entrepreneur that didn't have to grow themselves, which, by the way, I'm not trying to take anything away from Elon. My guess is he did more personal growth work than anybody else as well in the background. He just doesn't talk about it. But if you aren't growing, so one of the things I've been actually working with my team a lot with lately is, who do you need to be in the next stage of your business? Let's start playing chess here and stop playing checkers, which is just, who do I need to be today? And allow me to share a quick personal story. When I sold my biggest business, and it was for a modest sell, but I was already doing quite well. And I knew this huge amount of money was going to be in my hands. I think a lot of entrepreneurs do this very wrong, and especially male entrepreneurs, because we have way bigger egos. And let's just be honest, we're dumber. I didn't fall into this trap to go, well, I did well at business, so I'm also going to be pretty brilliant at being an investor. How many people do we know did exactly that? And so I really felt God was going, your next thing is investing. Like you gotta be a good steward of this money. So I went back to school for investing. I spent over $300,000 that year to become a better investor, to learn everything I could from the best and brightest. I sat down with so many billionaires to learn what they did right, what they did wrong, What are the best keys to investing? And I learned so much. Do I think I'm great at it? Furthest thing from it. I am just starting my education. But this is something that blew my mind. When I went to Finance Mastery with Tony Robbins, which is a week on mastering finance, it was so good. Most profound week on money I've ever had in my life. I walked in there with over 25 years of experience as a successful entrepreneur. I had already had more than one very awesome exit from a company. At the end of the week, I realized I had walked in there with a kindergartner's education on money. That is horrifying. And it just made me go, man, if I, who did pretty well in business, who've done pretty well financially, have a kindergartner's education, what chance does the average person have? And so go back to the original question, who do you need to be in the next phase of your business? And what are you doing to become a better version of yourself so that you're going to be great at that? Because if you're assuming you're just going to be great at that, I'm so sorry. I am not putting a single penny behind you. You can't have my investment. I'm sorry. I'm going to bet against you.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, if somebody hears that and they think, wow, that's a lot of money to educate yourself. I can also say you can spend that same amount of money by investing poorly and you got your education. You just got it from the School of Hard Knocks,
Yes.
And just for, transparency and vulnerability, Kurt and I have done it both ways. And I highly recommend the first way and then the second. Yeah, definitely better to learn from experts and educate yourself and learn to be wise and seek counsel instead of thinking, I can figure this out. Nothing wrong with having that mentality and being resourceful in business. We're rewarded for that. But there's a time and a place where you maybe don't want to figure it out yourself. So
that's so good.
For anybody who's thinking, I don't know if I want to invest that, just keep in mind, you may do it unwillingly.
That's so good. Oh, so true.
I know from talking to you that your faith is such an important part of your life and also how you run your business. So how do you incorporate the supernatural and the faith into how your decision-making goes? And, how are you adding that element of faith and spirituality? I think that what I'm trying to get at is beyond the platitude of I'm a person of faith, which we hear a lot, right? Even for people who are not Christian, they'll say I'm spiritual faith. What does that look like in a practical situation when you're making a business decision, and you're trying to look beyond just 1 + 1, does it make 2? How does that impact how you think about business and how you operate?
Oh, I love this. We are going in such a perfect direction right now. I'm going to give you the answer I wish someone had given me 20 some odd years ago when I was newer to business and when I was newer in my faith. Here it is. This is the God of the universe we're talking about. He's all powerful. He's all knowing. He's seen all. Time doesn't work the same way for him. He's seen time already past. He knows every possible decision we could make and the path that turns into. Okay. So if you're someone who believes in Jesus in this way, that's what you believe. Who is better equipped to make my business decisions? And yet it's always like, well, I'll make this decision. And one of my spiritual mentors said one of the most brilliant things to me one time. He goes, Markus, how much are you moving forward on your path and going, God, can you catch up, please, and bless what's coming? Isn't that what we all do? Mm-hmm. And so what if you changed to go, God, which path would you like me to take? And will you please bless it? Mm-hmm. And since I made that change, oh my goodness, not only has business in every way been better, I'm way more aligned with who I'm designed to be, which feels so good. And the biggest benefit I can possibly encourage you to take me up on with this is the peace that Jesus brings to your life. There's so much peace. There's peace in every decision. There's peace to get me to sleep at night. There's peace in my relationships. There's peace in my business. And when I've put it in his hands and I'm feeling called to go left or to go right by his word, I have peace in that. So even when things go wrong, and this is the most exciting part to me, when I was doing it on my own and things would go wrong, guess who I blamed? Oh, Markus, what a dum-dum. Have you learned anything? You're not a good business. Again, going back to our identity, man, my identity points were going down. But now, if I've already asked the Lord and I feel I'm supposed to go left and things don't go the way I thought they were going to go, that's okay. They're part of his plan. So think of how much better you enter any challenge in your life when you go, yeah, this is going to be challenging. This is not going to be easy, but it's going to be awesome because I'm going to grow. Let's just remember, everybody, you will not grow in the good times. There is zero growth. There is zero learning to be had in the good times. What are you learning? This is the better Barca lounger. It's more comfortable. It's got an extra cushion there. When I'm taking a nap in the afternoon, the extra support for my neck. Okay, you're right. Called me on. No, it's during the tough times. When we look back on our lives at the toughest times, it's when we grew the most. So now let's put that in front of us and go, whoa, this is a challenge right in front of me. This is so exciting. I'm about to grow. I'm about to level up. God is going to do something so awesome, and I'm going to transform into somebody who can handle more, who can handle the next thing he's going to give me. And I know the next thing is going to be awesome. Why do I know that? Because he works everything for our good.
Yeah, he does. And I'll tell you, it was very interesting. It's so interesting that you said it this way because it just something brought to mind. I was reading a children's book with my daughter who's 5. And the book is not based in faith or anything, but it was describing, learning something new and getting frustrated. And the little girl in the book is trying to learn this puzzle. And she's really struggling with the puzzle and she wants to quit. And you're showing how you could take a break, go for a walk, right? Interrupt your state, as we would say in Province land. Right? Go, get a pattern interrupt, go outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, some sun, come back. And then there's a little bit frustrated thing again. And they have this really cool image that I love. And I now use it for myself, which it shows this kind of fun animated looking brain that's sparkly. And it says, see that? When you feel that frustration, that means you're about to learn something new and your brain is going to become sparkly as it learns something. And I have now taken that when I reread it, and I've added another spin on that about when life is tough or things are difficult. I now, instead of thinking about the brain sparkling, I'm thinking about like angels, right? Little dust. I have a different view on it. And it's like, oh, I'm about to grow. I'm about to grow deeper in my faith and my walk and my reliance and trust on God our Father, not myself. And I don't always remember it, but it's very helpful because I just love what you said. If we can have the presence of mind and thought to have that outlook of things are tough. Ooh, okay. What do I need to learn here? Oh man, or I actually heard somebody else say this and now I've repeated it and I wish I could give them credit. I would love to give them attribution, but they were going through just terrible times in their business, their personal life. And I heard them say, oh, God, you must have something big in store for me, which is why I need to grow so much right now because there must be something so important on the other side.
Yes.
And it's very difficult to be thinking about that in that time. And so I appreciate you framing it that way because I think we all need that reassurance and that reminder when things are tough.
So good.
But that's really when we take our leaps forward.
Huge. Totally. And I by the way, I just love the way you put that. It's so beautiful. And you're right. We have to remind ourselves of this stuff constantly. Like with everything in life. Don't feel bad if you don't get it right the first time. I've been working on this for years. Yeah. And, we've talked about the faith side of what I just said. I want to just give you guys also a little bit of the logical side. If you want to live the life higher up and have a bigger business and bigger, more exciting this or that, it's very much like our grades in school. How do you get to fourth grade? Well, you have to pass third grade. Mm-hmm. If you didn't pass third grade, you cannot handle fourth grade. You can't handle the tests. You won't be able to handle the math that they teach you. You go through the tests, you go through the trials, you go through the challenges of grade 3. And when you experience those challenges in life, just recognize, oh my goodness, this might be the final exam. I might be going to grade 4 tomorrow. This is so exciting.
Yes.
So take the learning in. And by the way, one of the best parts of having this kind of mindset, think about the last time you went through a challenge. Mm-hmm. And your body got so tight and you weren't sleeping properly and it affected your marriage and other relationships. And maybe you had a few extra drinks here and there. Maybe you turned to this and turned to that. And it was just bad in your body. It was terrible. If you can look at it like a positive challenge, like I'm about to grow. No, I'm not saying you're going to be like, hey, everything's great, even though everything sucks. No, but you'll go, I know I'm about to grow. Think about what that does to the peace in your body and in your relationships. And you now are sharp enough and clear enough to talk to the people that are important in your life to go, I'm going through a really challenging time. Will you say an extra prayer for me? Can we pray together right now? And will you give me a little extra mercy in the next few weeks if I don't show up to something or I show up late? Think of how much better your life is going to be when you feel these things and talk to people this way. This is a clear recipe for a better life.
Mm. And having those people in your life where you can say that and ask for that, right? Because you have those people. Because when I think about all those things you've shared and how to play a bigger game, what's one way? Surrounding yourself with that right people. Like you said, you're in these rooms, you're constantly challenging yourself. And we all want to be in spaces where we can do that.
Absolutely. This has been awesome. But we're coming to the end, and we always ask the same 3 questions.
Oh wait. I gotta ask one more.
Oh wait, Kristen.
I gotta get one more in.
You're jumbling with the order of operations.
No, I gotta get one more.
All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
This one, wait. If you haven't listened to anything else, this is the moment. Okay.
No pressure.
Ready to go. Lay it on us.
Well, because I know that you work with such high-performing people, right? And we all struggle with, like we just talked about, a mindset or things are tough. But I happen to know, you deal with athletes, executives, right? We haven't even talked about your big business and in the health space. And so in all these people in their walks of life, they all have different struggles. So what is maybe one mindset trick or hack you might recommend to somebody? So when they say, oh, I'm going through it, I know you've got some in there. You've got to have some tools. What could somebody turn to? One, I could say, buy the book, Play a Bigger Game. Have that on your shelf.
Yeah.
But besides having that resource to turn to, what else might you say to somebody listening?
Well, I'll pull it from the book, and it is the easiest, quickest life hack that you can reach for as many times a day as you'd like, and it will be transformative every time you grab it. Gratitude. Just reach for gratitude. And let me give you the simple term here. Close your eyes for 2 to 5 minutes and just ramble off everything you are grateful for and visualize it. So one of my favorite things, by the way, to get me in the best state, I do this before I come on a podcast. I do this before every conversation. I pray, and then I grab one of my favorite memories and I just sit in that memory for 1 to 5 minutes. And so I'll share with you one of them. It's one of my favorites. I reach for it a lot. When my daughter Claire was born is one of my favorite moments ever. And I just have this beautiful moment where my wife is now holding our baby girl. And my wife looked up at me with just this joy that I just remember looking at Brooke and looking at Claire, and I looked in Brooke's eyes and I said, I am so proud of you. And then I looked at my daughter and I said, I'm so proud of you, Claire. And I can go back into that moment anytime I want and relive it. By the way, this is my encouragement to you guys. Relive it. Don't just look at it as a still photo. Watch it as a video. Don't just watch it from a distance. Be back in your own body. Look from your own eyes. Your brain does not know the difference between it happening then and happening right now.
Yes.
All those feelings that you had once will now pour over your body, and don't fight it. Don't do it for just 5 seconds. Stay in it for minutes. Remember what it was like. Was it cold in the room, warm in the room? Who else is in the room? What are the colors like? Turn up make it more colorful. Turn up the volume of the color. Be closer to it. Be right there. I can see my wife. I can see my daughter. And boom, I'm released all through my body, these endorphins and the gratitude. Do you think I'm not going to have a better day now? And again, it just takes a few minutes. And it can take you out of a stressful state, an anxious state. By the way, all the science is conclusive. The same part of your brain where anxiety fires, it's the exact same place where gratitude fires. Therefore, they cannot coexist. So if you spend 1 minute to 3 minutes in gratitude, there will be no anxiety. It cannot be there. And so you can easily rewire your brain. It takes time. I say easy, but it isn't simple. You have to be the one to commit to it and do it regularly. But do it once today. Make a decision. Pause this podcast right now and go do it right now for 3 minutes. Take your favorite memory, any memory that you love, and just be in it. Watch how quickly it changes you.
Worth the going back and getting that question answered. Thank you, Markus.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. Now I feel like the spoil sport. Now our time must come to an end. We always ask the same 3 questions to every guest in what we call our lightning round. We always start by asking about legacy. You're laying in bed many years from now, and you're looking back on your life. How do you know it's a life well lived? How do you know you've left behind a legacy to be proud of?
That's such a beautiful question. Okay, I'll try and be fast with this. What I'm trying to leave behind is what God has given me. He's called me to lead leaders. That's why I mentor how I do. I spend time with these people because I'm trying to help them become the best version of themselves. And most importantly, someone who's going to give back the way I'm giving back. To once you've gotten at any distance in your journey of success, that you now turn around and help the people behind you and help them with love and support them, teach what you've learned and expect nothing in return. I do so much of that stuff for nothing for me, but the truth is it's so much for me. I get so much out of doing it, especially the fulfillment of doing what I've been designed to do. So my legacy is to see a group of leaders who are now reaching a bigger group of leaders, mentoring them and teaching them to give back and teaching them not to just chase money. And once you have money, to give it back properly, to actually care about the next generation, to feed the poor, to go where you are called to go, to change lives where you're called to change lives. That excites me so much.
Sorry, you're making me take notes.
It's always a good sign.
Yes. Okay. So now potentially much less serious, 90 seconds on a hobby or something that's really got you going down the rabbit hole recently. Favorite book, sports team you want to advocate for, something that's really got your interest.
Sure. Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy, which I highly recommend. You guys hunt him down, bring him on here. His book is brilliant. so much of the mindset stuff we love to work on. He puts it in beautifully simplistic terms. He is a Christian man, and he interweaves the Bible into the whole book. It's beautiful. It was a massive New York Times bestseller. But I already love Jim. I'm praying for him. When you meet him, you tell him that Markus is the one who recommended and you guys should link up. Yeah, I can't more highly recommend that book. It is brilliant and it will change your life. And I'm on my third listen to it right now.
Oh, wow. That is great. All right. Final thing is you're an investor, you're a coach. What are the kinds of people that should find you? How do you help them? How do they get a hold of you?
Oh, thank you for asking. But the truth is, I'm not here to sell anything. If my voice really resonated with you today, you can reach out to me on social media, which I don't spend a lot of time on. My email is probably somewhere in the notes. You have ways to find me. I freely give my time. I'll meet with people once, just as a joy to me. And if you believe I'll be able to bring value into your life, I'd love to have that conversation. The truth is, God is just filling my plate with everything that I need. And I don't have to push. I don't have to search. I just have to open my hands each day. And it's a really beautiful posture that I love encouraging people with. It's this posture of no matter what he puts in my hands, he might also take out. So I don't grip it at all. I just, I'll accept whatever he wants to put in today, and whatever he's going to take away, he's taking away for a good reason too. So please, I love encouragement. I love knowing if there's something I said to you that made a difference in your life today. Anybody, please let me know. Reach out to me. Give me that encouragement. I promise you, I'll give some encouragement back to you. I'll say a prayer for you, which is even more valuable. And I just want to say thank you both for sharing your gift with me today. Like, you guys are great at this. I love what you two do. I love your leadership. I'm just so grateful for this. So thank you.
Well, that's very kind, Markus. And we will absolutely put some things in there in the show notes so people can know how to get in touch with you. And again, I'm going to tell people, play a bigger game, go out, get the book. And we bought it for everybody in our Liberty Business Alliance, and really encourage you to do that and recommend it.
Yes, and thank you, Markus, for joining. You can find him at his website. I'm going to spell this out for those of you who it's www.markuskaulius.com, so you can learn more there. And I really appreciate, Markus, again, you joining.
Yep. Thanks for adding value, brother. We appreciate you. And excited for what God's got in store for you next. But thanks for spending this time with us.
Thank you.
And for those of you tuning in, we appreciate your time. We know how valuable it is. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. Thanks again. Until next time.